Good evening, I'm Haley Harrington, and thank you for watching Assassination Station. Today in Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, the Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sofia were assassinated by the Serbian nationalist group the Black Hand. Tensions in the Balkan Peninsula were already at an all-time high. Russia wants Mediterranean access, Germany wants a real link to the Ottoman Empire, and Balkan nations want independence. Because Austria-Hungary had annexed Bosnia, the Archduke traveled to Sarajevo to examine the troops. Several members of the Black Hand attempted launching grenades as Ferdinand crossed the streets of Sarajevo. However, Gavrilo Princip killed the Austrian couple with 2 shots of his gun. Sofia, who was pregnant, died instantly. The Archduke passed shortly thereafter. The assassination has sparked Balkan tensions. Austria-Hungary has declared war on Serbia, and other nations are being drawn into the conflict because of complex alliance systems. The First World War is inevitable. Next, we will go to Megan Reyno, who has more detailed information.
Thanks, Haley. Hi, I'm Megan Reyno, and I'm your broadcasting consultant. While many people are wondering, what were Ferdinand and his wife doing in Bosnia-Herzegovina on June 28, 1914, when they were shot? They were invited to Bosnia to watch the governor of province's troops on maneuvers. When the members of the Black Hand, a military secret society in Serbia, found out that Ferdinand was coming to Bosnia, they planned to assassinate him because they were unhappy with Austrian rule and favored union with Serbia. They were afraid that Ferdinand's plans to grant concessions to the South Slavs would make an independent Serbian state more difficult to achieve. So where were the Black Hand and the Archduke actually located? In Sarajevo on the day that they were assassinated. Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife were riding along Apple Quay, which runs along the side of the Miljacka River, to visit those injured by a hand grenade thrown at their car earlier in the day. The driver, Leopold Loika, accidentally turned right onto Franz Joseph Street. Little did they know, 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip, a member of the Black Hand, was located on the corner of Apple Quay and Franz Joseph Street opposite the Latner Bridge. So when the driver reversed back to Apple Quay, Gavrilo fired his pistol at the car. The first bullet penetrated Sophie in the abdomen, while the second bullet hit Ferdinand's neck. Now back to you, Haley.
Here's Ali Searson with assassin Gavrilo Princip.
Thanks, Haley. I have with me the 19-year-old assassin of the Archduke, Gavrilo Princip. Mr. Princip, what spurred this brutal assassination?
Archduke Ferdinand bound the Slavic people to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and I, along with my band of terrorists called Black Hand, believe that getting rid of him would unlock these shackles that were binding us.
Did your band of terrorists accomplish this alone, or did you have any outside help?
Serbia provided us with guns, ammunition, and training that made the assassination possible.
How did you go about setting up the positioning of your men?
7 of us joined the crowd that lined Archduke route to City Hall. We were all in different positions in order to get perfect angle. Kar Binovic, one of my men, threw a hand grenade into a car, only to have it bounce off and land near the other car. The Archduke remained unhurt and sped off to City Hall. When they left, they mistakenly retraced their steps, and as I was giving me the perfect chance to do the deed.
Did you kill him with the first shot?
The first shot hit Archduchess Sophia in the abdomen. The second hit the Archduke right in the heart.
I see that you were awfully beaten up. What happened after the assassination?
The officer seized me and beat me with a flat sword, knocking me down and torturing me, all but killing me. I begged them to kill me, but they won't. I've been sentenced to 20 years in prison. However, with my tuberculosis, I'm sure I'll soon be gone.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Princip. Back to you, Haley.
Back to you, Haley.
Here's Ali Searson with conspirator Borjov Jeptic.
Joining us today is one of the conspirators, Borjov Jeptic. Borjov, we know that 7 conspirators were lining the route both to and from City Hall. Why did the first 2 conspirators allow Franz Ferdinand to pass them without attack?
When the Archduke and his retinue drove from the station, they were allowed to pass the first 2 conspirators. The motor cars were driving too fast to make an attempt feasible. And in the crowd were many Serbians. Throwing a grenade would have killed many people.
I understand that one of the next conspirators, Gabrinovic, did attempt an attack on the Archduke. Can you tell us a little bit about this event?
Well, when the car passed Garbinovic, the compositor, he threw a grenade. and hit the side of the car, but Ferdinand, with presence of mind, threw himself back and was uninjured. Several officers riding in his attendants were injured.
I imagine that this explosion created much chaos on the streets of Sarajevo and a scram. What happened after this initial explosion?
Well, the car sped to town hall, and the rest of the conspirators did not interfere with them. After the reception, Austrian commander pleaded with Franz Ferdinand to leave the city as it was seething with rebellion. The Archduke was persuaded to drive the shortest way out of the city and to go quickly.
If Franz was speeding to leave the city, how was it possible for Gavrilo Princip to get an angle for his deadly shots?
Well, the driver took the wrong turn and is forced to slow down and turn around. By chance, Princip happened to be waiting there in perfect
How exactly did the shooting of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand occur?
As the car came abreast, Princip stepped forward from the curb, drew his automatic pistol from his coat and fired 2 shots, hot and boorish. The first struck the Archduchess Sophia in the abdomen. She was the expectant... Thank you, very good. Spoon, thank you. He died... The first struck the Archduchess, as I was saying, struck the Archduchess in the abdomen. She was an expectant mother and died instantly. The second bullet struck the Archduke close to the heart. He uttered only one word, Sophia, a call to his stricken wife. Then his head fell back and he collapsed, like such.
Could you describe the reactions of the authorities at this time?
The officers seized Princip. They beat him over the head with the flat of their swords. They knocked him down. They kicked him, scraped the skin from his neck and the edges of their swords, tortured him, all but killed him.
Well, I'm afraid this is all the time we have. Back to you, Haley.
Very good.
Here's Kelly Reed with Count Franz von Herrick.
Thanks, Haley. I have with me now Count Franz von Herrick, a bodyguard for the Archduke, who rode on the running boards of the royal car. Count, could you give us an idea of the gruesome scene after the first 2 shots were fired?
As the car quickly reversed, a thin stream of blood spurted from His Highness's mouth onto my right cheek. As I was pulling out my handkerchief to wipe the blood away from his mouth, the Duchess cried out to him, "In heaven's name, what has happened to you?" At that, she slid off the seat and lay on the floor of the car with her face between his knees.
What was your reaction when you saw the Archduke wife had also been shot?
Well, I had no idea that she too was hit and thought she had simply fainted with fright. Then I heard His Imperial Highness say, "Sophie, Sophie, don't die. Stay alive for the children."
What did you and the other bodyguards do after the shots had been fired?
At that, I seized the Archduke by his collar of his uniform to stop his head from dropping forward as I asked him if he was in great pain. He answered me quite distinctly, "It's nothing." His face began to twist somewhat, but he went on repeating 6 or 7 times, ever more faintly, as he gradually lost consciousness, "It's nothing." Then after a short pause, there was a violent choking sound caused by the bleeding. It stopped as we reached the Konak.
Thank you so much for your account, Franz von Herrick. Back to you, Haley.
Here's Allie Searson with Franz Urban.
Now I have with me the driver of the car, Franz Urban, that transported the Archduke during his assassination. Mr. Urban, it must be difficult to play a part in this horrifying assassination.
It's extremely difficult. I wish I could go back and change my actions.
How so?
After we left the city hall, the plans were changed as to the route that we would take. Because of the bombing attempt made earlier in the day by the Black Hand terrorists, it was decided to go straight to Apple Way, instead of turning right on Franz Joseph Street. However, they forgot to mention this information to myself, and I continued with the previous planned route.
Well, it definitely wasn't your fault, Mr. Urban, just a mere miscommunication.
Yes, but nonetheless, I brought the Archduke in the presence of terrorist Gavrilo Princip, who by chance happened to be waiting right there on the street. When I discovered I had taken the wrong route, I stopped the car and began up 5 feet away from Princip. This gave him the perfect opportunity to attack, killing both the Archduke and Duchess Sophia.
That's all the time we have. Thank you, Mr. Urban. Back to you, Haley.
In conclusion, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand inflamed tensions in Europe. Because of the complex alliance systems, nation after nation became involved in the Great War. There will be much fighting and negotiations to come. Please watch Assassination Station to stay informed. Thank you and good night.